Hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So I know this video is different than what you are normally used to seeing with the travel and the tech, but it's just getting so expensive to have your car taken to a shop or to the dealership, especially to get your brakes done, and brakes are very, very important. So we were just doing these brakes because it was my brother-in-law who just traveled cross country from out of town, very much so cross country, and we just wanted to make sure that his brakes were in good working order. So a few things to keep in mind: we are not ASE certified mechanics. We looked everything up like you guys are doing on YouTube beforehand. So if you're going to do this, do it at your own risk, and so just keep that in mind. And then two, we were just doing the brake pads because the rotors were already replaced before we had touched them a while ago. And then calipers and all that were inspected, and then we did not bleed the brakes at all. We just compressed the piston. We did make sure to remove the lid on the reservoir, just to make sure we're not putting too much pressure on the brake line. So, and then we also close everything back up too. So, but again, we are not professionals. Do this at your own risk, but check it out. It is actually not too difficult. The most difficult part you're going to see is getting that right 3/8 inch Allen head, but you'll see in the video. But here we go. Hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So we are doing quite a few things, but we're going to do the front brakes, the front brake pads on here. This is a 1998 Chevy Z71-1500. This is a four-wheel drive pickup truck with a 5.7 liter V8. But here we go. We've got some of these parts here. We've got to first remove the wheel. We're going to get it all jacked up. We are going to put it on stands. Make sure that it is nice and safe. And then we've got all of our other brake parts to go along with that also. So one of the first things we've got to do is jack up the car. We are going to use this jack point right here, and you can see it right here. This is the frame of the car for the most stability. So in addition to using a regular 22mm tire iron, this is our lug wrench that we're using right here. These were actually on here super tight. The first one was okay, but then for the other ones we actually did use a pipe as a breaker bar that we attached to the end to help us remove and loosen these lug nuts. It was already on the jack point here, as you're going to see, and then when you do jack it up, you'll definitely want to make sure that you distribute the weight evenly between the jack stand and the jack, just to ensure that if your jack ever does give, that your jack stand is there as a backup. So what we're going to do is we are going to again use the 3/8 inch Allen head right here. And we're going to put that right here. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of an expanded view of this 3/8 inch head. This is what you put your Allen wrench or your 3/8 inch Allen head bit into right here. So on the driver's side, you're going to put in your 3/8 inch, and then you're going to give it a little bit of a push down to loosen it up. And again, this side's already been done. Here we go here. We're just using this. Can't get my fingers on it. Yeah. So we took off the caliper bolts right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to just have the screwdriver slid up right here. And we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. And by doing that, we can just loosen this pad off of here. So here are the pads on this side. Here's your inner, here is your outer. What we're gonna do is we're gonna match them. These were just picked up from the local parts store. As you can see right here, the old one, the new one, and then you could tell a difference in the amount of brake pad left. It is quite a bit. We just want to make sure we get everything all matched up. Here's the inner. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use some of this disc brake quiet stuff. And we're just going to put that on here. We're going to put it on here. We're going to spread it. Because as we have contacts, we're going to make sure everything stays nice and quiet. This almost leaves like a rubberized coating on here. That way your brakes are nice and quiet as you have the metal pushing up against the metal. And we're just going to let these sit for a few minutes. And while we're at it, we are going to take these right here too and do the very same thing. That way when we do the other side, we are ready to go. Slide a little bit of that under. But yeah, we're just gonna let these set. These are gonna be for the other side. All right, so here is the brake reservoir. And what you're gonna wanna do before we start compressing the piston is you're gonna wanna just undo the cap on this to make sure we don't put too much pressure with the amount of brake fluid that's going to raise when we do compress that piston. Is just leave this popped open a little bit, just so we're not having too much pressure as that brake fluid rises. All right, so now that we've got the caliper just now sitting on top of the rotor right here, we're going to first remove the outer pad. So this right here is almost like a tension system right here. And so we're just going to see that right there. Just kind of pulled it out of the holes. So here's the outer pad. We've already got the brake reservoir already loosened. So as we take our piston compressor and we're going to compress this piston, we're going to leave the inner pad on. We're going to do this. As I said, you could also use a C-clamp right here, but what we're just going to do is use our piston compressor tool to see that piston compress as it's doing. I'm going to get it nice and compressed as far back as it'll go. Right there. Then we're going to remove this. We're just going to yank this off. This goes right here inside the piston, and we're going to replace it with the brand new one.
There you go.
See this right here, that half circle right there? We're going to put it directly back. Just give it a little push right there. Again, half circle lined up with the caliper. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this over top of here. And it's just got little notches. So both hands, even pressure. So they're right in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pause right there. So right there, make sure your brake line is good. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna go in between here on the caliper mount and slide the caliper down. See as it sits right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our brake bolts, our caliper bolts. I'm going to grab some of this grease right here. We're just going to slide this down at the lower one. Take this, slide it through the top one. And we're going to do the very same thing with the other side. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get these hands started. All right, we got this one started. And we're going to do the very same thing with the top one. We're just going to wiggle it a little bit. Okay. See it? Now we get it hand started. So the very last thing we're going to do is use our hand to tighten these up as much as we can, hand tight, and then we're going to put the Allen head on here and use this method. This will be much quicker with a 3/8" bit and a ratchet, but we do not have that. We are just using our Allen head and tighten them up, and when you do get them tight, just give them another 1/8 to 1/4 inch turn. The very last thing you're going to do is close up that brake reservoir right there. That way when you push on the brake, you're not taking in air. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out our channel. Thank you for watching.